Let's go to Goodison Park, today's game, because it was an interesting game. We obviously set this up early from the morning. So it's an Everton team that don't score goals. Calvert-Lewin, no goals in 16. In 9 of the last 11 Premier League goals, Everton haven't scored. Against perennial scorers in Tottenham, 45 goals, only Liverpool has scored more. So we know Tottenham can attack. Could Tottenham defend against this Everton attack that was pretty poor, that wasn't potent at all? And we end up, Rob, with an incredible game. We end up with a 3-0 scoreline at half-time. Absolutely only one team in it. I mean, shambles might be too strong, but disjointed, just no structure, no shape or joined up thinking about Spurs. They were a little better second half, but they had to be, and I think, like anything, Everton dropped off and were, trying to control. Give me some of your headlines, Rob, of... I suppose Spurs is a story. We have to sort of say, we'll give Everton a bit of love after doing David Moyes and how he loosened things up a bit more attacking. But Spurs was one of the big stories of this weekend, and Ange Postecoglou.
Just back on the first half, my word I wrote down for them for their first half performance was nothing, like nothing. There's nothing. I start to get lost on this is when the strong part of Ange's philosophy and his team and the attacking play and the control and the possession and the clever fullbacks and all that stuff that I've enjoyed over the last year and a half.
Well, you all enjoyed, Rob. If you love football, you've got to enjoy that.
Yeah, but over recent weeks, and I've got to say probably a couple of months, that's going away as well. And today was another example of they're not even doing the football well. As if the confidence is shot out of them. It looks very individual. Yeah. It doesn't look like a team with any synergy playing together. Of course, on top of how fragile they are defensively. Yeah. To give up 3 goals to Everton, that's a headline half-time score.
No one else does that, do they? Everton got 3 goals in 45 minutes.
They have not suddenly got miles better.
They got 5. I think they had 5 goals since the beginning of November. Yeah. They get 3 in 45 minutes.
So it all goes back to the manager. The manager's under pressure right now, Ange Postecoglou, Rob. And, I've been really up at the start. Yeah. I kind of kept fighting the case.
You were conflicted before the game,
a little bit conflicted today because I've seen this coming a little bit.
Yeah, but was that one of the let me see more. What he does today? Yeah, you're going to Everton, Rob, who are defensively well set up and structured. David Moyes' team. I feel going there, Rob. You've got to with not your best 11, and we know that. Solanke was injured. And Brennan Johnson, so that's 14 goals at the top end of your pitch. More injuries that we'll come to. But let's just say, we know the challenge. I've been saying for a while and keep saying, I love Ange Ball. I love watching it as a viewer of English football because I think it brings something. I think at its best with his best 11, it's a test and can challenge the best in the league. But outside of that, Rob, when things are not right, when he hasn't got his best 11, he needs to adapt things. And I said, and I said, and it's quite a strong thing. I said, he's not setting his team up for success by doing it. And I have to go to Archie Gray, the young 18-year-old championship player who's playing at centre back. It's not his best position. He can play right back, play central midfield, but he's done an admirable job. Him and Dragusin. He was moved around today, Rob, and put in a position in the own goal comes in.
A weird formation.
And I'm just saying, that's not... Get some structure, man. If you're going to go 4 or go 5 with some structure that we know. Then when you get the ball, go and do a little bit of your stuff, but give us some structure when we haven't got the ball. When it turns over, a little bit... Rob, there is none of that. There is none of that, and it's a problem. Let me also just give you one more, and then I'll let you in. James Maddison has got club-high 8 Premier League goals. On days you would say one of their best players, technically, quality. Other days a bit inconsistent thing. James Maddison, I don't know whether James Maddison is part of his best 11 or is he the guy you bring on in the good times. James Maddison.
Would he sit here on this podcast and say, he would say to you, Robbie Earle, you want me to change structure, you want me to be stronger, well, I've taken our most creative player out the side and I've got others in there to be stronger.
James Maddison.
If James Maddison, if he says to you, Robbie, you want me to play James Maddison? Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a difference. I'm trying to give us some more structure. I'm trying to get more general players in there, not just the creative ones. He's got Pedro Porro in there as a wing back. He had Papsar. You got Bergvall. These are all harder working. Jed Spence are harder working players. Kulusevski's harder worker than Maddison. Yeah. So he's trying to shore up a little bit. But by the way, that's only devil's advocate. That's only what he might say if he's sat here.
I like the argument. Go on, I'd let you finish.
All I would say, right, back to the bigger picture today is, do you know what my expectation was today into this game, right? My expectation with a normal Spurs, with this team, with these players, with this manager, is that they should go there and have a lot of the ball. In fact, my notes were like, they're going to dominate today. They're going to dominate possession. Just got to be careful with counter-attacks. Be careful.
They should win by an odd goal. What
I think we should be seeing is Spurs knocking the ball around, okay? There might be a couple of breaks that Everton get in behind because that's the way they do things. They take that little bit of a risk. That should be what we're seeing. Creating stuff. Kulusevski's doing stuff. We're getting some crosses in. It was some playing up front today. Bergvall's busy with the ball. He's on the ball. He's dictating the plays, running the game. And then they might be vulnerable to an odd attack. That's what I expected the game to look like. It looked nothing like that.
No, it didn't.
The football is not even there. It wasn't just sporadic attacks. No. Everton were looking like they're going to score every single time they got forward. And it goes back to his philosophy, and we're trying to play our football. He was really annoyed, which I was surprised at in midweek against Arsenal. The week in midweek.
North London derby.
That's unacceptable. We're too passive. I thought that was not a bad display, given Arsenal's they're at home, they're going for a title.
Yeah, they were short.
That today was unacceptable, and that's where it makes me harder to sort of say to have confidence to stay behind the project. So is that what he's going to do all the time then? What's changing? Because there's injuries that are out for months.
Well, you make a good point, but I want to go back to Maddison because I think he almost signifies.
So what you're saying, there should be a way for him in a team, no matter what.
No, what I'm saying is, in the right team with the right setup, and James Maddison should be doing the work and then the creativity, like the best, like Szoboszlai does, like Curtis Jones does, like Kevin De Bruyne has done.
Whose fault is it that he's not then?
Because
Ange basically says he's not doing it. He can't do that.
If he can't do it, sell him. Get him out and get somebody who can. If that's what you're saying, sell him. Because I'm saying to you that if you are not going to have the quality, we don't want them to be I'm not wanting Spurs to be a sit-in, that isn't Spurs, and this isn't what Ange is. But you've got to be two-way players. The top players in this league are two-way players.
Yeah.
So
he's got to make him do that.
Correct. Kulusevski does it, to be fair.
Kulusevski's it's just more natural for him.
So James Maddison. So my coaching now is okay, James Maddison is good quality, can take free kicks, can score goals, can give us assists.
But in this moment, you can't trust him.
So I've got to work on him. I've got to make him mentally stronger, physically stronger. Understand sometimes in games, it's not about James Maddison, how good he looks. It's about sitting in and winning some ball and just being, they're going to have their 5 minutes. Now we go again, James. Now you go and play.
Where do we go from here?
That's a big question.
Right, so they're 15th place now. It's shocking where they are right now.
The big question is, and I'm going to ask you, can he turn it around? That's where we are. Can he? Is this reversible?
Well, I think he can. I think he can potentially turn it around when he's got everybody fit, Rob. That's going to be too late, isn't it?
But your notes.
I'm talking about Van de Ven, I'm talking about Romero.
Your notes have told you, even on good days, we're still not 100% sure.
But they were 5th last year.
Yeah, they were 5th.
And that's what keeps. It's like,
okay, so
a difficult season last year. They played some lovely football, and it wasn't always perfect, but they were 5th.
I think he can turn it. I think he's a smart guy. He can coach. He's got a little bit of lack of respect for the league, where he goes into games thinking, I'm going to play. And the opposition are better than they were in Scotland, mate. The forwards are better than they were in some of the leagues you've played.
I think that's a really interesting angle. Is like, does he think my football in the past, I've always stuck with it, it's always found a way to win, I'm not changing anything, and did he coach teams that are kind of dominant? And this is a little different.
This is different, and you've got to take a little look at it and go, the top teams, Liverpool, Manchester City, Pep, Chelsea, teams, all of that to go, all done a little bit, will be different. Bournemouth are a great example. We're going to talk about them. We've got 10 players missing, yet have a security and a system that allows them still to play and score goals. They scored 4 goals this weekend with 10 players missing. So Spurs can do that. Is Ange going to be big enough and bold enough to go, I'm going to change it? Or is it back to that, this is how I am, mate, this is how I play, and this is who we're going to be?
That's a good question. The answer to that right now is that he's not, and he's going to keep doing this thing up to this point. But, I mean, where they are right now in the league table, he's got to be smart enough to realise, if this keeps going, I'm going to get fired. The only thing that might save him is the League Cup. They're in the semi-final of the League Cup. They've won. They beat Liverpool 1-0
up. Yeah, they 1 goal up against Liverpool with the second leg
to get to a major cup final. That he said, like, I always win in my second season.
History tells you Daniel Levy doesn't care about that.
Yeah, I know.
Jose Mourinho was thought, serial winner.
And they're not awful in the Europa League.
No, reasonable shape.
So the cup stuff.
I think they've got a couple of Premier League games, Rob, that are going to be key. They got.
Do you think it's more acute?
They're home to Leicester. They're home to Leicester next weekend. If they don't win that game, if anything but a win at home to Leicester, mate, he's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, because you start looking over your shoulder at relegation.
Yeah. I mean, Tottenham,
they're 8 points clear.
With that stadium, with that group of players, with that cachet.
Yeah, it's underperforming with the players, even with the ones out. You look at the team, that's underperforming. Being there in the league table is underperforming with that.
When you see Fulham and
everybody, Crystal Palace and everybody,
and Brentford.
Yeah, and other teams that have had nightmare seasons are still above them.
Yeah.
And West Ham, Manchester United. Yeah, it's coming to a head. It's coming to a head. And I thought he looked today in his interview very down and very kind of forgiving. Like, wow, that was bad.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there was a little embarrassed, wasn't it, after the game where I thought he sent the players across in. I thought it was quite embarrassing for the players to have to do it. I get why you do it, and I get that you're applauding the fans.
Yeah, in the bad times you want to
let them know that we've let you down. But there was a bit of a stalemate between the fans looking at the players and players looking at the fans, and it wasn't good. And as you say, this is Tottenham Hotspur.
It's funny, mate. We're on the edge of it, and Ange brought something. He's bringing something we've never seen before.
No,
we've never seen this,
good for the league.
And it's been, but maybe this is why we haven't seen it before, and maybe there's got to be a little bit more pragmatism at times to get a foothold a little bit.
Let's just give Everton a little bit of credit just before me, because David Moyes. Beck asked me really, she throws those tough questions. What's the difference between a David Moyes and a Sean Dyche? And I thought for the first 45 minutes showed me a little bit. There's just a little bit more attention to creativity, a little bit more bodies going forward, a little bit more intent to get goals.
He's got so much experience in terms of the Sean Dyche thing, and he's a course and distance.
Correct.
He's won it. He's done this so many times before, twice at West Ham, where he's pulled them away from a really bad situation and established themselves, and they go on to do good things. So I thought it was an excellent appointment. Yeah. They're not there yet, of course. They've got a little bit of space now. Not a lot of space now when you look at the league table. But that's a big win for them.
Yeah, huge.
That's a big win for them. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the way he took his goal.
Yeah,
if you get him scoring a few now, everything changes really quickly. Really quickly.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.